Yo, it's your boy Augie and welcome back to another Sunday photo mode video. Today we're going to focus really on using the Otis Inf tools I've been talking about the last two episodes, and I'm going to show you just how to use it, how to get it, and some of the cool features it comes with. So this may not be a full photo mode playthrough, but you're going to learn a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe as always. Let's get into it. So already I'm in Expedition 33, our favorite game so far of the year. You know, this game is amazing, and for what we're about to do, this is perfectly suited. So first, you want to go to Patreon and you want to go and subscribe to Otis Inf's Patreon. So let's make a quick jump over. Let's minimize. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to go subscribe to Otis Inf. And once you're subscribed, I haven't renewed my subscription because honestly, once you get the tools, you don't have to always subscribe every month, but I definitely resubscribe every time he drops bigger updates and drops newer tools. As you can see, he has tools for The Last of Us Part 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dragon Age, Monster Hunter Wilds, a lot of games that he's created these specific photo mode tools for are all here. But there are certain games, as you can see, there is no tool for Expedition 33. That's because he has another set of tools that are just Unreal Engine tools. So there is the Unreal Engine 5 and Unreal Engine 4. These are the tools you need. So for Expedition 33, that is an Unreal Engine 5 made game. So you would need to download the Unreal Engine 5 unlocker, whatever updated version 5 dot whatever he's on, you want to download that. For some games, older games, like for example, a game that just came out recently, South of Midnight. South of Midnight was made on Unreal Engine 4. So if you want to do photo mode in South of Midnight, you need to download the Unreal Engine 4 version. So once you subscribe, you can download both of these, honestly, because you need them. And then once you have those tools, you would have that in a folder in the zip file that you got it from, and you can now see what it comes with. Inside of that downloaded folder, as you can see, I'm using the 5.411 version of the Unreal Engine 5 unlocker. So inside of there is post process folders, there's a color picker. These are just tools and DLLs that help make the unlocker work. What you really care about is the client.exe file. That's what you're going to run. It doesn't need to be installed. It says it's an exe, but it's not an install exe the way exes for some people work. This is more of a DLL injection. So to use it, you simply have to double click the exe. Windows will probably make you agree to something if not. But eventually this should pop up. You should see this window right here. Inside of this window is where you would inject the DLL for the unlocker into the game files itself. For that, you need to select here. The good thing about this is that whatever game you have running, always have the game running first. Open the game that you want to inject the DLL into and make sure that the game you're injecting is an Unreal Engine based game. This will not work on games that are not Unreal Engine unless Otis has created specific camera tools for that game. Like Cyberpunk 2077 is not an Unreal Engine game. However, he has created photo mode tools specifically for that. So if you want to have a game, if you want to know what games are supported, definitely go to his Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. Go to the Patreon, subscribe, and look at the tools he has. He has a lot of tools, honestly. A lot of games are supported that we all play. But check out the list first and make sure before you go complain that it doesn't work, is the game supported. All right, so obviously we're playing South of Midnight, and so it recognizes it and we select it. That's all you need to do. Whatever game you're playing that's open, that is supported, hit select, click on the game that's running, and you're done. This right here should autofill. Okay, this should autofill because it's just what the exe is pulling from. Now all you need to do is hit inject. When we hit inject, you're going to see something up here which will give us some pop-up windows to let us know that, hey, what we injected is working correctly. So let's go ahead and inject it. 3, 2, 1. And there you go, initializing. Camera found, initialization complete. That's what you want. And you want to see that the button is changed now to rehook X input. Okay, so now that you have injected the tool into the game, now the game now has the photo mode tools. Now we're still not done. There's still a couple of things we need to do. So let's go ahead and look through. Now I'm going to tell you what I use. Okay, there's a lot more depth in this tool that I myself don't even use. So if you want to play around and read a lot of the guides that has been created for this tool, be my guest, dive into it, explore some more. But I'll just show you the basics of what I use it for, that you can start using to do what I do in my videos, and hopefully you can jump and branch out from there. Okay, all right, so hot sampling I don't touch. These adjustments, we can play with this, and I'll show you these because these do work. Game speed and player size. You can make yourself a giant and stuff. It's pretty fun. Make invulnerable, that's cool. Make visibility, that's fun too. Lights, I have had some hit or miss experiences. I still need to learn it, so I'm not going to boggle. I'm not going to talk about it a lot. Post-processing is where we'll play around a lot, especially with depth of field and global illumination and just color grading and stuff like that. You can go into these and you can mess around with a lot of the values that the Unreal Engine 5 is using to create the game. Now, the features that are enabled in this are all of these. So obviously an in-game console, built-in free roam camera, HUD toggle, availability, object info dump, all that stuff, game pause, visibilities, all this stuff is available to you inside of the tool. Not all the games will have all these features turned on, so do pay attention to which of the features you're trying to access that actually are able and possible in the game you're playing. Next, we have configuration, which is one, how fast does the camera move? When I'm doing a lot of my camera movements, I'm using an Xbox controller, so I want to adjust the movement of how I pan and move and tilt, because sometimes getting a certain shot, when you're pausing for photos, it's a lot easier to get whatever you want. But sometimes when I'm doing my Dragon Ball what if stories that I use this tool for as well, if you've seen that videos and those 26 episodes I've made, you notice that sometimes I'm panning around when the CPU is fighting, or if I'm fighting the CPU and I'm panning the camera around. This helps me, get that speed together. So this is where you can adjust all the movement, strengths, all that stuff here. Next, we have key bindings, and this is by default what is there. I use the default key bindings, so when I tell you something about what I'm pressing all the default key bindings. If you want to go ahead and change the key bindings to your own preferences, be my guest. Just know that when I say a key binding, I'm referring to the default. Okay. Obviously, there's an insert key to actually enable the camera itself. There is the plus and minus on the number pad to field of view to change that up and down. Moving the camera around, if you want to use the D-pad for that on the number pad, you can, but I don't. I use a controller. You can toggle the HUD on most games with the delete button, and then if you want to block input, it will be the decimal on the number pad. So you can set a camera in a position, hit the decimal on the number pad, and then you can now start fighting again. Usually when you enable the camera, it disables input for the character, so the character just kind of stands stagnant while the camera moves. This, with the decimal, you can move the character while also moving the camera. Now, if you want to freeze the camera in place, you can also have that, I believe it's somewhere in here, the game overlay, control insert, toggle game pause. If you want to pause the game, it's just the 0 on number pad. You can skip frames up and down to the next frame while you're paused. So if you want to get a certain look of a character and you might have froze the game in a blink, you can push forward a couple frames and get to a much more preferred expression in the game. You can also override the game speed. So if you want the game to play at half speed for everyone, you can, which is really nice, because if you're shooting fast motion and you want to keep your camera movement consistent in that fast motion, this is a great way to do that. We use alt / I never know what the fuck the slash forward or backslash. You know the slash I'm talking about because it's on the screen. Use that slash, and then you can use alt bracket open, alt bracket close to decrease or increase the speed. So we'll look at this a lot. We'll look at this a lot, and we'll come back to this as much as we need to, because this is where we're going to play a lot. The lights, I don't really play around with most of these things after the default settings right here. So just know that we'll be mostly playing around with the camera itself and moving it around. Oh yeah, one last thing I want to show you. So once you move a camera into place and you want to lock it at that current view, you can always just press, I have the pause button mapped. That's the only button that I have customized that isn't the default. Okay, so for me, pause break on my keyboard is the pause camera location. So once I hit pause break, it will lock the camera in whatever place I set it, and then I can hit the decimal, and the decimal will allow me to move the character around. All right, so one last thing you want to do in here too, go back to configure, and you want to disable display notifications. Notifications was those pop-ups you just saw that came up that said, you know, camera initialized, camera found. When you're trying to film gameplay, you don't want to have every input trigger a pop-up. So go ahead and just disable this right here, and that way every button press you make will not be displayed on the screen, and you can record your content very smoothly and cleanly. All right, so you just key bindings. We'll come back to all these later. I don't touch any of this stuff, honestly, so I'll leave it alone. Now let's go ahead and just move. Let's minimize this. Let's minimize this, and now let's go back into Expedition 33, and we'll jump into our playthrough that we're currently doing. Let's go back to Spring Meadows, and now we're gonna put a lot of what we just discussed into practice. All right, so let's just look around. So right now the game is what is controlling the movement. As you can see, the camera is locked to the character. Wherever the character goes, they go. If I move Gustav here, the camera follows Gustav. Now let's go ahead and let's press insert. Now that I've pressed insert, now remember, once you turn off the notification, you need to remember what you've pressed and what to turn off, because you won't know it until you try to go around and something happens and then it doesn't work anymore. So as you can see, with the camera now enabled, I can move around Gustav. He stands still. I can go as far back as I want. I can get as close in as I want, and it is not dependent on Gustav anyomore's location in the game. I can use on controller right trigger to pan down, left trigger to pan up, and I can use the D-pad to tilt and give me Dutch angles as I feel I need. So that is enabling the camera. So now we can just literally get anything we want from any angle. This is usually where the creativity starts. Shooting through seeing different details in the game. This is the tool you want. So like I said, let's now do a camera lock. So I'm going to just lock the camera. Let's put the camera all the way up here. Okay. Now I'm going to press my pause break button to lock the camera in place. Now that I lock the camera, I'm using if you can hear, I'm moving the joysticks around. Nothing is happening because I've locked the camera. I'm going to go ahead and press the decimal and number pad, and now I can input movement into Gustav again. So now I'm going to move left with Gustav, and now I'm moving left. You see, so the camera itself is now stuck where I put it, and now I'm back to controlling the character as if. Pretty cool, right? So if you want to create these cool little machinimas, you definitely can. Now notice how the reticle shows up here. If I press delete on the keyboard, it will hide the HUD. Okay, so now we literally just have Gustav walking around trying to shoot people. Now understand too that once you lock the camera, the movement is set to a specific axis. So right now when I hold the controller left, I go up. If I go down, I go right. So sometimes the movement of the character will become a little bit annoying, only because the camera is in a weird spot and the controls are in a different axis. So just remember that. But now you can create these little cool little moments where it's like you couldn't do this before in the game, and here you are just blasting stuff and creating cool little machinimas. So for your reels, your shorts, have fun with these. Now let's go ahead, and once we're done, we want to return back to gameplay. Simply hit insert again, and we will get back to the camera as it was intended. And now I'm back to my settings, controlling Gustav with the game intended controls. All right, so that is those. So now let's go ahead and pause the game altogether. Let's pause this frame. So with that, we'll press on the number pad the 0 button, the 0 key, and now the game has completely frozen in that frame. Nothing is happening. Some games, I will tell you, audio files will still play, especially like in games where it's a fighting game where it has to play a cutscene. The audio will still play even though you have frozen the frame. Like Sparking Zero, a Kamehameha wave, you pause it on Goku's gathering his key to fire the Kamehameha wave, it will freeze on that moment. However, you'll still hear the full audio of that move. So keep that in mind when you are recording. Just because you pause a frame does not mean you have paused the audio. Sometimes the audio and the frame are on different pipelines, so pausing one doesn't pause the other. So now that we've paused this, let's go ahead and hit our insert key again, and now we can move the camera once again around Gustav, but now he is stuck in place. Everything in the game is frozen. Nothing is moving. Everything is as is when we froze the game. Now, this is kind of a cool mission. That's a cool video right here. This is kind of cool. I might clip this and post this later. Not sure how Homeboy just ended up floating in the air like this, but now we can just we can go look at details that never was meant to be seen by anyone but are there in the game, and we can just go create and look around and just do all sorts of fun stuff with this tool. All right, so now we have the game frozen. Let's go ahead and so I'm using right now, if you notice a jitter in Gustav, I'm using the left trigger to move him around, but let's go down and let's move the game a couple frames forward, okay? So with that, to move the frame forward, we're gonna press page up, and you're gonna notice how he's moving forward. So you can give the game an input and then watch that input play out. Now, I don't know what that was. I think it might have been him trying to fire something, but obviously with the game not playing the full move set of that particular keystroke, it doesn't look correct. But in a cutscene, you can pause a cutscene and you can move Gustav frame by frame until you get a look you want. Notice how he's about to blink just about now. There you go. Now we have his eyes back open again. So you can move up a frame to get what you need and create that moment to your satisfaction. All right, now real quick, you want to just take a photo. There is no photo mode in this game, obviously, so what you have to do is you have to hit Windows Alt Print Screen. For me, playing on a Windows 11 with the Xbox app installed by default, Windows Print Screen will take a photo for you in the game that will go into your videos file under captures, and you will get. Sometimes using print screen alone on an HDR TV or monitor, it doesn't work. So you want to use the Windows Alt Print Screen to capture the look you are obviously seeing in game in that moment. It's been useful for the last couple of photo mode videos I've made for you guys. So that's just how I use this tool. All right, so there you go. There is how I make and take these photos. Now let's get a little bit more creative, okay? Let's get a little creative. Let's go ahead and let's open up the console, the in-game console. And for that, I believe it's Control Insert. So there we go. The in-game console is now active. And here we are with the in-game console. Obviously, we can change our depth of field with the in-game console. We can roll, give a little tilt here and there. And to be honest, that is as far as I go. You can store different camera positions but that's for an advanced video that I'm still trying to figure out, so I'm not going to show you something that's half-assed learned. What I will show you though is this tab called Actor Selection and Manipulation. So let's go ahead and check make newly selected static mesh actors movable, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to select Gustav as our character. Okay, this is our character. So as you can see, we have character action world. See, this is the character we're going to use, and then we want to go into this right here. Actually, let's play around. Let's make sure we can. Yep, so that is the character we want. We can move him around the world. So you can move and put him in places where naturally he wouldn't be able to get to, or create shots with people lined up that you may not be able to do. Like, for example, let's move him right next to her, and let's see if we can create a shot that is obviously not possible in game, but with the photo mode now we can. Beautiful, right? So we can move them around as we see fit. Now another thing we can do is where we have this expression, let's go ahead and just click down, and let's make sure we're still on Gustav, and let's change the we're on the character mesh. Let's see if we can switch Gustav for another character. Okay, there are other characters we can swap them out for. Let's do that didn't work. Let's go back. Let's if we reset everything, we're back to where we began. Let's go ahead and click on Gustav again. We can swap in different meshes of different characters here, but obviously it's not working the way I was hoping it would work. So you know what? It is what it is. It's still, this is all experimental. This is not a completed finished thing, so it will always work a little bit weird, and you will not get the most easy to use functions out of it, but it's here for you to play with. The one thing I will say is they have all these animations, and in these animations we can now play the game where Gustav is now, let's go ahead and deselect and let's start. See, when I selected the running animation, now he's running. If I needed to do a photo where I need him running, I can now play the animation of the run, and then once I close this overlay and I re-enable the game speed action, Gustav is now running. Now let's go ahead and do this in real time while he is running, and then let's bring this up again and let's see what other things we can do. Let's do a walk animation. Okay. Let's do a torch aim. Not all these are, remember, this is still experimental. Okay, this is all experimental, so. But for photo mode intents and purposes, if we were to have this, let's go ahead and pause it here. Let's bring back our tool. Let's say we want to move him here. We want to move him to the back, over a little bit, and let's go up. Let's go a little bit further back so we're not stepping on her. She's not being overshadowed. Now we can take, so this is how people are taking photos, and you're wondering how they're creating these moments and these poses that are not possible in a game without photo mode. This is how they're doing it. They're playing the animation for that character, pausing it at a specific moment, and then using the tool to move the character in place to then take the photo. Same thing we can do with her. We can also give her another, let's do a leap. All right, let's go ahead and close this. So notice how she is now sliding around. And also Gustav is now stuck in this. He's not stuck, but he will stay in this animation we have him in for our photo. So if you want to put him somewhere else, you can walk him somewhere else and put him in a photo while old girl is kind of doing her thing. Let's go ahead and just pause this right here, and let's bring everybody back. And then for her, let's just drag her position here. Let's move our overlay away for a second. Let's go ahead and just rotate her a little bit. Bring her all the way up. So you can create these fun little shots, you know, is honestly finding the animation that best works for what you want, and then getting it to freeze in the right place, and then composing your shot the way you want it to be composed. So there are different things you can play with. There is the face. For face, you can do something. Let's do amusement, for example. So now she's sliding around, but her face, if you notice, she has the look of amusement on her face. So if you want people to smile in photos, you can basically change their face, change their structure, and pose them in different ways that is honestly different from what the game intended. Let's say for someone like Gustav, for example, let's go ahead and change his. So he doesn't have a face mesh. Actually, let's just do Gustav face mesh. Only his face shows up. That isn't okay. All right, let's I don't know how to go back to what we had. And one thing you will notice too is a lot of this is experimental, so the game will, for me, the game crashes a lot when I play around with experimental tools. All right, so using experimental tools, understand that sometimes this is not meant to be done in game, and so you will experience a crash. Right now we are experiencing a crash. The mouse has obviously frozen, the game has frozen, so we're gonna go ahead and just restart the game in a second, and we'll jump right back into it with the same steps we did with injecting the DLL and getting the camera mode to work. All right, so we're back in the game again. Let's go ahead and inject our DLL, and let's go back into configure, and let's go ahead and turn off the pop-ups so that they don't interrupt our gameplay. So there you have it. That is how we use the tool to create the things I'm doing for photo mode. So let's just review real quick. One, you want to go to Otis Imp's Patreon, you want to support, and you want to download the Unreal Engine 5 unlocker and the Unreal Engine 4 unlocker, and then you want to look around and find what other games he supports. But once you find the tools you want, the way to inject them are all the same. You just double click on the exe, you find the game that is running, you inject the DLL into the exe, into the game, and then you can obviously turn off the notification tab, review the hotkeys, review the settings. But once you do all that, you are all set, and now you can jump into the game. You can hit insert to move the camera around, look at all the cool details. You can hit the 0 on the number pad to pause the game frame. You can hit up on the keypad to up on the keyboard to move the frame 1 frame forward. You can hit Control Insert to go into the in-game tools to create cool cool photos with different animations and poses that are not possible in the game. And when you're all done, you can hit Insert again to get back into the game and play it the way it was intended. So let's go ahead and let's keep playing. For today, we'll do about 30 minutes of gameplay. We'll try to get some photos. But real quick, I did see some stuff I liked, so let's take some of these photos. So first, let's go ahead and bring back the actions button. Let's go ahead and click on Lune, and then what am I looking for? the thing I'm looking for is not showing up. The experimental tab has disappeared for us for some odd reason. Oh, you know what? Because I believe the camera, so before you go into the overlay, make sure you enable the camera first, and then you want to go into the overlay, okay? If you don't, you will not see this pose editor tab, and you'll be frustrated like I just was a couple seconds ago. Always click on the character you want. Make sure you're clicking on that character to make sure they highlight correctly. Let's go into experimental. Let's go down here, and let's go. I don't remember what I clicked on last. Let's see. What did we click on to get homeboy to move around? All right. Definitely not getting what I wanted out of this. Oh, that is because I should be on Gustav. And here we go. Let's see. Okay. What are we missing here? What are we missing? And not the hair. We want the body to move, right? So what are we missing in this? Alright, let's go ahead and just close and try it again real quick. Let's do a walk to see if it'll play. For some reason, we're not getting movement. Let's make sure we have the right character selected. That we do. You know what? I'm not getting what I wanted out of this, so that's fine. I'm going to just close this. I'm going to go ahead and just let's pause it here. I just want to get this shot of him looking up at this floating individual here. Let's give it a bit of a... almost like a Stranger Things kind of vibe that I'm getting from this shot. Wish I could get that little, these little fragments out of the way. Because it's killing the angle that I want to capture this guy from, but it's still... let's push out just a little bit. Yeah, I'm not getting the shot I thought I was gonna get from this, but let's do a quick little a push in here for a reel. Also, the way we have the camera speed set is great for dollying into shots like this, smooth and steady. I'm applying very little pressure on the joystick forward to create this very smooth push in. So if you want to create these kind of shots where things look like they're slowly dollying into a shot, that's how I'm doing it. The speed is the basic default speed. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure on the joystick forward to create this smooth movement. All right, which you can always clean up later inside of Premiere Pro, whatever editing tool you use. I live in Premiere Pro. They have my money for the last 10 years, so it's hard to switch. I want to use DaVinci Resolve so bad, but I hate learning new things. Even though I learn new things for fun, I just don't want to learn that new thing. All right, so there is a shot I think I want to grab. I'll find a way to play with this a little bit. Let's go Windows Alt Print Tab. Dang it. You see when you do it wrong, what happens? Windows Alt Print Tab, print key. There we go. Grab our shot. Let's push out. Let's turn around and see if we can get any other interesting angles from this. Interestingly, Lunet got a nice little... Let's do a full body shot with this one, actually. I like, ah, her feet. Well, with our tool, we don't have to worry about her feet being in the wrong place. We can easily pull her forward. Let's go ahead and control insert. Let's click on her character model and let's just move her up or out of the way just a little bit. And we'll keep her where she was, but let's just get her to come up a little bit so that she's kind of just... There we go. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and adjust our shot. Get her right in that sweet spot. It is harder than it looks creating a shot when you have the image tilted like this, but I think I like where this is. If anything, we can crop it later inside of Lightroom, but we got the shot we needed. Once we're done, we can hit insert and we can reset everything, and then on doing so, we got this nice little interesting shot that this is what I wanted. This is what I was trying to get and I couldn't figure out. Oh, having homegirl's dead body right in the shot too is just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. I like this. I like this. Even though her body's in that lower third that I want your eye attached to, and then him in the sky is in the upper third, which then draws a nice parallel line, a nice straight line from her dead body, Gustav's head, into whatever floating dead body up there we have. Let's get that screenshot, baby. That was nice. Serendipity coming in clutch. All right, let's unfreeze the game and let's move forward. This playthrough should only really take 40 hours if we're just playing, but with photo mode, the way we're doing it is going to take us at least 80 hours because all the things you want to stop and take a look at, it's a lot. It's a lot, and you know what? This game is worth every penny. And one thing I just want to harp on real quick. People talking about, oh, it's on Game Pass. Game Pass is killing it. I wouldn't have paid $50 for this game. Not that I'm not saying it's not great, because this is phenomenal. But trying out new things, man, when you're in a limited budget for gaming and you have responsibilities, throwing away $50 here and there just experiment is wild. But when Game Pass, which I already paid, I paid for like 2 years in advance for Game Pass a long time ago, which I got to find out how to do it again this month, because I got to repay it. I got to pay it again next month. But having a game on Game Pass allows me to try it out, essentially for free, play it, and if I love it, I can then go on Steam. I will buy this game on Steam to own it, because there are certain mods I want to use that the Game Pass version, it's possible to enable, but it'll be a lot easier on the Steam version. I'm gonna buy this game and own it, but having Game Pass as a chance to try it out first is a great way to really get exposure to these kind of games, because like I said the first video, I don't like turn-based games. I really don't. But seeing this game last year at the Xbox showcase, the presentation the game had looked cool for the trailer. A year later it comes out, it's on Game Pass, I get to try it first day, and I fall in love with it. And then from there, it's like, dude, I want to own this game. And that's the beauty of having Game Pass right now, is giving a lot of people a chance to try out new things that they may not necessarily have wanted to spend a full $50, $60, $80 price tag just to try. But once they love it, they can definitely support and own it. So as long as people are using Game Pass as in that kind of way to learn and try new things, I think it's honestly a cool part of the Xbox ecosystem. Let's go ahead and lock this camera. Let's go ahead and enable. I want to get a slow-mo walk. Let's go ahead and Alt/ to enable override game speed, and then Alt close bracket to control game speed. So now if you notice, everything is moving at a slow-mo rate. So when I move Gustav forward, I can create this slow-mo feel of a shot without doing this in post or wasting or losing fidelity. Because sometimes in post, when you slow a moment down, you know, you're essentially cutting the frame rate in half, and so the game looks like it might jitter. But when you're doing this in real time, this looks so cool because he's just walking, and it's just a slow-mo walk of him through these fields. And yeah, man, this is awesome. This tool is awesome. And if you're getting inspired just from seeing these little things I'm doing half-ass, I hope you create some amazing content with this tool. It's $5 to support Otis. You can get all the tools in 1 month's support of the tool, and you can have it for forever. Obviously, whenever he makes updates, do come and grab the updates because they do fix certain things. But grabbing this tool for $5 and then creating endless amounts of content for your YouTube channel, for Instagram, for TikTok, it's amazing, bro. So yeah, definitely go support. But we just made a little reel just now, and inside the game. All right, we're done. Alt// to return back to game speed. Insert to return back to game camera and controls. And here we go. We're back in again. Isn't that cool? Like, that is phenomenal. Like, right, real quick, let's do another one. Let's go back to insert. Let's go all the way through the water, through all this. Where is our heroes? All right, so now let's do another override. Let's go Alt/, okay. Now we got slow moving water. Now we can just pan, and just pan into this nice shot, man. Cinematic as fucking ever. So this is awesome. Like, think about all the content you can make with this tool. Beautiful. And all this for just $5 to support someone's Patreon. Like, come on. Like, this is the most undervalued tool I've ever seen. The amount of content I've made with this tool in the last, what, 6 months is absurd. And all that I paid, I think I've supported him 4 months out of that 6. For $20, I'll be able to grab this tool and make amazing content, and now so can you. So can you, man. Go into the description, hit the link, get the tools, support Otis, and also while you do that, also jump onto the Patreon has a Discord channel that you can join and see other people's creations. There is a photo mode post tab in the Patreon where you can go and submit your photos and post them, share with other people, and get creative ideas. I do it all the time. I will post a picture, and then I'll just lurk and just watch what other people are posting. And it is really cool, man. It is so cool to see the creativity that people can come up with a tool like this. That is a nice long stretch. But let's go above here. Let's pull out a little bit. I want to get a nice walking shot right here, so I can get some foliage to dress up the scene a little bit. Let's go ahead and hit our pause break key, and then let's hit our number pad decimal key, and let's go for a walk. Or jog, whatever suits Gustav. there you have it. Just like that, we just shot another really cool reel. The game is still in. When you hit insert and you have slow motion turned on, or you have reduced the game speed, the game will still run at that speed. You can always hit your alt / to return it back to the full game speed. Alright, so that is how I use these tools, and how you too now can go learn and play with these tools to create your own cinematic gameplay. But yeah, I am having so much fun with these tools. I'll end the video here for today, because I want to see what you guys go and create. This is not about me creating, this is about you learning the tools and getting the ability to go and create your own content. So as always, check the description for the links. Go create some awesome content. And if you want to see how I also use this to create episodes in Dragon Ball Z, check out my ongoing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero What If channel playlist. I'll link in the description below, and you can see how I'm making full Dragon Ball episodes with this tool inside of Sparking Zero. So once again, it's your boy Augie. Thank you for watching. Have a great Sunday. And yeah, go subscribe and support the Patreon for Otis Inf. Get the tools and go make some amazing content. I'll appreciate it if you ever create something cool. Just tag me or link me or send me a link to your creation so I can support you back. I appreciate you watching these videos as always. Have a great Sunday. Peace.